Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server and I've got access to the new champion, XENA Warrior Princess, on the test server. So we're going to be able to check out our skills, check out the kit. I'm also going to go through what the champion pass looks like and how it's going to work. And my plan, I've been feeling pretty rough, honestly, since I got back from Vegas and my travels, but I'm hoping to stream tonight. So I want to stream and just play test XENA tonight in various different content. I'm actually streaming back on Twitch now at Hell Hades TV. It'll be from 8:30 UTC PM tonight. So come and join me for that. Hopefully I'll be absolutely fine to do it and we will be back in the streaming mode. I've gone back to Twitch because honestly it's just a nicer feel streaming platform for me. And I have been like streaming other games as well. So I didn't want to like mess around with this YouTube channel for streaming. So we're on the test server. I guess let's go through some of the details around how this is going to work before I get into showing you the champion. So I've got some key information here from Raid. We've got key info. So the dates that this is going to happen from today, there is going to be a champion pass active. The last day to activate a champion pass will be the 5th of January. And the last game to actually, I guess when it goes away, will be the 4th of February. And yeah, it's going to be a champion pass event. There will be some summoning boosting as well for this hero. So what I would say is I made a mistake in my video yesterday, or I made a mistake which I then counted in my video yesterday. But basically, there is still going to be 7-day login champions. That's not going away. This is just an extra for what they're doing on the XENA stuff. So the champion pass, this is how it's going to work. There's going to be a different type of form for it depending on what you do. So you're going to have a 25 level pass. The basic pass, which is the free-to-play version, you will not get XENA Warrior Princess. That's what they're calling out here. So you'll have 25 levels. You'll get standard rewards, they called it. But it's basically like energy, multi-battles, all that type of stuff. And at the end of that, you will get a Sacred Shard. One of the rewards in basic option is an avatar of XENA, but not the actual champion. Okay. If, though, you go to Elite, then you'll have basically the same rewards, but you'll get additional elite rewards as well, or what they call in premium rewards, which is going to be more in-game resources. And then at the end of the elite option, you will get XENA Warrior Princess as a champion. There is an option as well to go Elite Plus, and basically that's just skipping a load of the levels and just doing it quick. So I guess that's the whale option. And I guess the other thing to call out here, if you're interested really, during the kind of XENA Warrior Princess, they're calling it a campaign. Obviously, they're doing a load of socials and stuff around this. You can summon her from shards as well, which is actually unusual. They don't normally do this. So here's a schedule. On the Monday the 13th, there will be, I guess these are times 10 events for Ancients for XENA. Even though we're all doing this event, they're doing it as a kind of extra boost. And on Monday the 20th, and on Monday the 20th is Sacreds. Thursday the 30th is going to be from Ancients. So in addition to the Battle Pass stuff, there'll also be kind of like shard events for her as well. Okay, let's get into the kit then. Let's see if she's going to be worthwhile. As I say, I'm going to be testing her this tonight on stream, 8:30 PM UTC. And we'll test her in a bunch of content. We'll test her damage. The bandana will be ready. And yeah, we'll do all of that normal stuff. Portrait definitely has got the right feel to it. I like it. Okay. What are we saying? I mean, obviously a barbarian makes complete sense. Definitely got the visual looking pretty sharp. Okay, bit of animation going on. Nice. Swing that sword. Let's go. What do you think of this type of collaboration, by the way? You know, bringing well-known characters into the Raid universe, into Hilaria. It's interesting, right? I don't know if is it great or not? Not sure. It's definitely interesting. I like the vibe. Definitely like the vibe of it. She's getting in there, nice little pose. Okay, so we've got 100 base speed, solid. 1542 base attack, solid. So as long as her multipliers are not complete trash, she should hit hard. Yeah, and obviously we don't want to bring in XENA Warrior Princess in, and then she's an absolute like lightweight hitter. You know. Let's go through her kits. A1 here. We've got attack one enemy 2 times. We'll ignore 3% of the target's defense for each buff on the target. So let's say the average nasty person to fight is going to have 3 buffs. She's going to be ignoring 9% of the target's defense with this skill. Not that much, honestly. You'd rather the buffs were just not there and she goes in with a whack. We'll also ignore shields. That's actually solid. If the target's got 2 or more buffs or debuffs. Buffs or debuffs. Interesting. Okay. So again, like if you're up against someone like a net crit, puts out 3 buffs, you'll be ignoring the shield part, and that's quite a big part of what he does. Quite hard, honestly. Most of the time, if you're going against someone, I'm talking arena really here, if you're going against someone with 2 or more buffs, the chances are they've got block debuffs as one of them. That's normally the way it goes down, which means that to get the debuffs on is quite tough to do. But anyway, this is interesting for an A1. Depends how hard it hits, obviously. There's no like, will hit again if this happens, which is generally where you get your crazy damage hits. So I guess we'll see what sort of damage this does. Got the A2 then, Chakram Cyclone. I don't know if I said that right. 3-turn cooldown when it's booked. Attacks all enemies. Will ignore 5% of the target's defense for each buff on the target. It's the same type of deal. More buffs you've got, the more ignore defense that you're going to get. Probably up to about 15%. Steals 20% of the turn meter from each enemy. This effect cannot be resisted if the target is under 2 or more buffs or debuffs. That's a very, very solid skill. Like, if you can imagine, most fights for arena, you're fighting 4 people. So you're getting an irresistible 80% turn meter. If you think about it, it's 20% from each of the enemies, right? So I guess maybe it's 20% of their total turn meter. So if they're on, I don't know how, we'll have to test it. If they're on, say, 50% turn meter and you steal 20% of that, you're basically getting a 10% turn meter steal, potentially. Or do you just straight steal 20%? So are you getting an 80% fill or are you getting a bit of a random fill? We'll have to test it. I'm not sure. But definitely a cool skill because it just means you're getting back to your attacks quicker. And obviously you're doing a lot of damage. And you need 0 accuracy to make that happen, which is one of the best things. It means you can build her as an absolute damage dealer. The A3 then, Whip of Destiny. Another AoE steal. So 2 AoE steals. This one books to 4-turn. Will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each buff on the target. So again, could be up to 30. That's actually pretty good. When you start to then build her out with stuff like Savage Gear, get Helm Smasher on, you're getting pretty close to ignoring all of the enemy's defense, which is huge. Honestly, resets the cooldown of this steal if it kills 2 or more enemies. That's pretty damn big as well. Obviously, it depends just how much damage we do, but it feels like she's just a raw damage dealer. She's got 0 debuffs. She's got a bit of turn meter steal. If this was against a boss, there's not that much turn meter steal going on. So bear that in mind. Like, there's no turn meter stuff going on here. So she's a straight, for me, arena champion or wave-based killer. That's what it feels like to me. Let's check out the passive then. For the greater good. This has got a 3-turn cooldown. So increases this champion's attack by 10% every time they use an active skill. So the A2 or the A3. Up to 100%. It says here resets each round. So what that means is if you go from one wave of enemies to the next, that's a reset. An arena fight is only ever 1 round. It's not like how many turns you take or something. It's just there's only ever 1 round. A clan boss fight is only ever 1 round, but you probably wouldn't use her in clan boss because she's not bringing much else. Albeit, if she does a shit ton of damage, then maybe you would use her. We'll see. But yeah, this generally is like good for longer fights. That's when it generally like kicks in. Live arena, there could be some sort of use here because some of those live arena fights do go long, but not that much use, honestly. Also has a 50% chance of randomly changing this champion's weak hits to normal, strong, or crits. So basically a 50-50. The chance increases to 100% when attacking enemies under 2 or more buffs. So if any enemies have got 2 buffs or debuffs or more, she will never weak hit the enemy. Never. That's pretty damn solid as well. So the weird thing, and again, the thing we'd have to test here is like, is it just random which of these it becomes? A normal, a strong, or a crit? I mean, you would build her with 100% crit anyway. So the only reason to not crit is if you're hitting a weak affinity. So maybe what it's saying here is you'll never weak hit. And then, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do. Is it's just going to turn them into... You're always going to crit because you're not weak hitting anyway. Like, I don't really understand the wording of it. It seems to me that it should just be you never weak hit when they've got this up. That's like the wording's kind of weird. But anyway, I guess if you build her under 100% crit and this kicks in, you could end up building her with super high crit damage, low crit rate, and she still crits, potentially, if they've got 2 or more buffs or debuffs. Like, could you imagine if, let's say we were fighting Clan Boss, as again, I don't think she's a Clan Boss champion, but she might end up doing some crazy numbers. Imagine if the Clan Boss has always got 2 or more debuffs up, then does that mean she's always going to crit? I don't know. I don't know which of these it would be, but if she would always crit, you could build her with no extra crit rate. She needs 0 accuracy anyway, so it's literally just pumping attack and crit damage, and she would be doing some colossal smacks, especially with this additional stack of attack. So pretty interesting passive. We'll have to see what actually happens when we playtest her. So the other active effect here, this is what's got the cooldown, fills this champion's turn meter by 100% and places increased attack for 1 turn whenever 8 or more buffs are placed on an enemy team in a turn. There's not many situations where when a team are getting a round of buffs, they don't get to 8, right? I guess maybe if it's just Arbiter going or someone like that, you'll get to 4. But most of the good buff champions are buffing with a couple of buffs at a time. So the interesting thing to be testing here is this like Rotus where she cuts in? Going to 100% turn meter does not mean you go next in some champions. If this said fills this champion's turn meter to max or she cuts in, that's different because that means she will definitely go next. And that could be an absolutely insane mechanic. 100% turn meter, she gets increased attack, and then all of her skills are doing more damage when the enemy's got more buffs. That could end up being a crazy, crazy arena cutting type of mechanic where she just comes in and she just absolutely like slays the whole enemy team. And she can't weak hit, so it doesn't matter on affinity. Like, it's pretty interesting. I've got to say, the kit feels pretty damn cool for arena. She's got arena attack 33%, which is okay. Not often you would use that over like a speed lead or something. But then if you're building her as like a go second team, which it feels like you could do, potentially this could be useful. The only thing with her as in a go second team is unless she absolutely is cutting in with this skill, when the enemy's got all of their buffs up, it's still very difficult to one-shot them. Unless she really does smack, it's very difficult to one-shot the whole enemy team. And she's got no inbuilt mechanic to just stay alive. Okay, so there's nothing in her kit. A bit like, you know, with Candy. Candy will stay alive for a turn after being hit just because his skill set allow him to do that. She doesn't really have that, but damn, it's pretty interesting. And yeah, we'll see tonight. We'll see tonight on my playtest, but let me know what you think of XENA Warrior Princess down below. And what you think are kind of like the general battle pass feel. We don't know prices and stuff yet, but probably not long after this video goes out, we will do. And I can see certainly some, if she hits hard, some whales will be picking up that elite pass in no time. Anyway, guys, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.